We can't come to our last closing without more dairy factoids about Wisconsin. So I wanted to put out a statistic that really shocked me when I was putting together our annual report. So there's about 1.25 million cows in Wisconsin. That sounds like a very high number, but did you know that that's about half of the cows that were in Wisconsin in 1950? So some of the research you heard today talked about genetics and management and feeding and just overall care. And so half as many cows and considerable more milk certainly speaks to the work that everyone is doing on all three of these campuses. So again, thanks to Chuck and the team for the awesome tour. And as our first Dairy Summit comes to a close, I'd like to welcome back Dr. Heather White, who's the Faculty Director for the Dairy Innovation Hub, with some final comments.
Thank you, Maria. It has been an honor to serve as the first faculty director for the Hub and to work with colleagues across the three campuses, many of whom you've heard from today, to contribute to the Wisconsin dairy community. Today has provided us an opportunity to share many aspects of the Hub, especially within its first year. Two of the most exciting aspects of the Dairy Innovation Hub are both collaboration and the vision to impact all aspects of dairy. The Dairy Innovation Hub was funded at $8.8 million in the first biennium, $1 million of that in the first fiscal year, and $7.8 million in the current fiscal year. The funding supports dairy innovation at our state's three agricultural campuses, with 52% going to UW-Madison and 24% to each UW-Platteville and UW-River Falls. These funds are dedicated to research, outreach, and education across the four priority areas, which you have heard about this morning, from ensuring animal health and welfare to enriching human health and nutrition of consumers of dairy products, to stewarding land and water resources, and growing our farm businesses and communities. By harnessing and increasing the capacity at all three campuses, we are already supporting exciting research across these areas. Today, you have heard from many of the dedicated stakeholders, champions, and campus leaders that have made the Hub a reality. To show you a visual of the timeline, the concept endorsement in December of 2018 was followed by introduction of the legislation by Senator Markline and Representative Tranel in May of 2019. The following months included approval of a spending plan that was set to guide the Hub's efforts, and funding became available to campuses in late 2019. During this period, groundwork was also being laid to align the spending plan with mechanisms to solicit and review proposals on each campus, which meant that the first funding decisions were made just a few short months after funding was made available. Despite campus closures due to COVID-19, we have met all of our benchmarks and goals for the first year, as reported in the first annual report released just about a month ago. And as featured today, research is already well in progress. Several of the projects that you have heard featured have leveraged existing expertise across the three campuses. Our goals are to create synergistic collaborations that are additive in impact, not to replicate or duplicate, but to do it better by collaboration. We have encouraged and fostered these collaborations not only across the leadership teams, but across faculty and facilities. And we have already have examples of researchers working together across campuses on projects that would have been prohibitive without collaboration, either because of a gap in critical expertise or a lack of facilities. We've actually heard a few researchers comment already today on how their early projects have led to collaborations across the campuses, and certainly within campuses across different departments and colleges that may not have traditionally been involved in dairy research. A key aspect that enables this collaboration is the structure of the Hub. Our respective deans, who you heard from first thing this morning, work together to support this collaborative approach. Shown in this visual, the center wheel with the leadership committee, and as one of the deans noted this morning, meets on a regular basis, even at this point, well into the hub's beginnings. We're closely connected with voices from external stakeholders through the Advisory Council. Earlier, we had Mitch Brining on our farmer panel, and he serves as the chair of the Advisory Council, which gives feedback to the leadership committee, to Maria and to myself, on what we should be focusing on within each priority area to ensure that we're true to the original vision and to contribute to reviewing proposals that are submitted to the campuses. This input is also executed at the local level by a steering committee at each campus. Having been a part of the discussions that started way back, you heard the story earlier of the white marker board in a farm's office. Until now, it has really been a pleasure to work with those key champions along the way and now have them a part of the Advisory Council and of the steering committees. We greatly appreciate you taking time to join us today for our first Dairy Innovation Hub sponsored Dairy Summit. We strive to maintain open communication and connection, which is a theme that has been brought up several times this afternoon. That connection and communication is critical both with our stakeholders and our partners, with farmers all the way to producers and processors, to the allied industries and to consumers. If you haven't already, please connect with us through our email newsletter list, social media, and the website. If there's a way you'd like to collaborate, whether through a conference, through research, or an outreach effort, please reach out to Maria and myself. If we're not the connection you need, we'll ensure that we find the right person for you. Thank you again for joining us. We look forward to continuing the efforts in this exciting initiative. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them now or later through one of these contact mechanisms.
So Heather, we don't have any questions coming in at this time. So I guess if you'd like to add anything else, or...
I would just thank everyone again for the participation, speakers and panelists. The discussion and sharing your research was very insightful today. We appreciate all your time. And to the audience, and just end by saying on Wisconsin and on dairy.